Yeah, so me and a friend, we worked on this instant messaging client that is location aware. I think it was around 2002, I believe, and it used Wi-Fi access point IDs and Wi-Fi signals and stuff to kind of figure out what area you're in, or at least to figure out relatively which other people are close to you. And it was a native Windows app, and I thought it was really cool, but it was a little too early. A lot of people didn't have Wi-Fi back then. I remember a lot of people, when I asked them if they had Wi-Fi, they didn't even know like what that was, and so it was just, I think it was too early, and it was the barrier was just too high because you had to download like a Windows application and install the Windows application. So after that, I always thought I never want to do a Windows application again. And so we just decided to open it up, because apparently people just wanted to upload any videos in general. So we just decided to open it up to, anything. And at that point, we became more similar to Flickr, I would say.
And then, so the video player that you're using for the dating site, was it pretty much what it is now?
It's very similar.
Nice. And okay, so then you change direction. You just make it into like an open everything, upload a video.
Yeah, it became more generalized, and we took some cues from Flickr. We borrowed some concepts like tagging, just so you could find videos. And at the time, tagging was actually a very new concept. A lot of people didn't know how it worked, so oftentimes when people uploaded videos, they would put like ASDF as all the tags. So we had to, but eventually they figured out that if you want views, then you have to make it easy to find your video. So you can't just add, ASDF tags. So eventually people figured that out. So my first job was basically at PayPal, where I designed the anti-fraud systems. Oh, not close enough. There we go. That's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I implemented the anti-fraud models at PayPal, and I was there from, let's see, I think 2000 to 2005. It's pretty exciting, and I got to meet a lot of interesting people. So that was I guess that was technically my first job.
Okay, and so then after YouTube, you're kind of fiddling with some ideas what the next thing that you're going to be working on, right?
You mean after PayPal?
Yeah, after PayPal.
Right. Yeah, so me and some colleagues, we were kind of brainstorming lots of different ideas. We were actually throwing around maybe 4 or 5 different things. But we kept noticing online video as a potentially interesting market because there was this confluence of things that were happening at the same time. For example, digital video cameras were completely new at the time. I don't think they had cameras in cell phones at that point yet. It was mostly the pocket point and shoot cameras. And then at the same time, we had broadband in the home. That was actually a new phenomenon in 2005, believe it or not. Before that, it was mostly dial-up modems. We also had flash video for the first time, so that meant there was one consistent format for all videos online. And before that, it was just a very fragmented collection of formats, Windows Media Player, QuickTime, and different codecs within each player. So it was pretty chaotic. There was no good way to really find or share videos. And so we kept going back to, online video. This might be a good industry. So we, decided on that as the market to address. I mean, we never allowed inappropriate content because that would be bad for the brand, right? But there were like some videos that were borderline, like maybe violence or, like minor nudity or something like that. And so for those, obviously those got a lot of views. But we came up with this idea of when you go to that video and you're not a member, we show a screen that says you have to sign up to prove that you're 17 or older. And so we got a lot of signups through that. And yeah, that's not really, I think you're right, because even back then there were so many video formats. I mean, we probably had like 1,000 different video formats. There's so many cameras and then later cell phones, and I mean, it was very difficult to unify that because we had to give a consistent viewing experience for many different devices. So that was pretty complicated. then we were also thinking, wait, like actually, it's actually a good thing that Google Video launched before us because that shows people that this is not a crazy idea. Because before Google did it, people just thought this is crazy. Like you can't do this. How can you show? Like right now, I think YouTube shows about, I think something like maybe 3 or 4 billion videos per day, and so people would say like this is not possible. There's not enough bandwidth in the whole internet to do this. But then when Google started doing video, whenever people said this is not possible, we just said, well, look, Google Video. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can.
Smug mug.
Smug mug.
You like Java is a big photography fan, so we've traveled a lot together, and he takes pictures pretty much everywhere. So I mean, I'm guessing you like photography sites.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Smug Mug's pretty cool. It seems to be kind of a niche website, though. I guess there hasn't been a ton of revenue in photo sites. I think photo sharing is a great catalyst for a lot of websites, obviously Facebook, etc. But just like photo by itself, it's really interesting, but it may not have been super high revenue so far, at least.
And as far as international startups, has anyone approached you? Have you put money into international companies?
Mm-hmm. I haven't invested in any international companies so far. I'm definitely interested in learning more about the international markets in general, especially Europe. But I think I'm just getting to know the space.
And so a little tidbit about Javad. He's German, and you have some Polish in you, right? Very small.
True.
What was the story again? Your grandmother was born.
Well, yeah, my mother's parents are from Poland. Like,
cool.
So at the time when YouTube launched, there were already a lot of video sharing websites, including Google Video. So we were not the first by any means, but we were able to just kind of try out more things than some of the other companies. For example, we just made it more open, so anyone could upload a video and it would be hosted immediately. All the other sites were curated so that you could upload a video, but it would only be shown if it was a good video. Google Video was very curated. They had TV shows, I think movies, and if you uploaded a video, there was like a 2-week review process or something. We also had just, more features for sharing. We had the embeddable videos, which no one else had. We also had tags to find videos, which no one else had. So, it wasn't just like a few things. I mean, it was like a long list of things, but we just basically differentiated ourselves sufficiently. No, I mean, it was more like we just felt like that was missing. Like, I had some videos I wanted to share, but there was no place to put those. So we just made a site to, host those videos. It just happened that no one else was doing that.
Till acquisition.
Let's see. I think the site was launched on April 23rd, 2005. And I guess acquisition was
2007.
October 2006.
Okay. So
Yeah.
was it 2006?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Another little funny story. My brother Paul was one of the first users of YouTube, and so he has youtube.com/Paul. And so a lot of people want to claim that as their username, and so they request a new password. And so I'd say, how many emails do you get a day? 20? 20 emails. I just say, oh yeah, YouTube has what was it? What do they do? They try to reset his password every 25 times a day. And so, and at one point somebody actually hacked into his account, and he had to actually email Hunter, the head of YouTube now, to claim his YouTube account. Okay. Anyway, so you finished YouTube, acquired, and now you're focusing on angel investing, right?
Correct.
Okay. And what are some of the bigger investments you have?
Let's see. I mean, Airbnb is pretty exciting. I'm also interested in the personal finance space, Future Advisor, just to name a couple.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so for you, how long of a process does it take for you to evaluate a company?
I don't know if there's like a set time limit. It's mostly just looking at the market, the team, and the product. Kind of discussing it with a few friends or colleagues in the space. It wasn't really that we were like interested in creating a dating site. That's not that interesting. was more like we needed something to convince people that this is like a real technology, right? Because initially when we told people, we're doing online video, everyone was like, this is stupid. I mean, this is insane. You can't pay for this. It's too expensive. And also, most of our investors that we pitched to told us, they asked us, like, why would I want to watch someone else's videos? Um, so we needed something to just explain. Yeah, this is actually a very big VC that everyone would recognize, but I mean, I'm not blaming them. I mean, it's difficult to project how things turn out, but we needed something to just explain to people like, yeah, this is real, this actually works, and it actually has like like some value. But I think the bigger vision that we realized is obviously much more important, which is that anyone who has anything to show can be seen. So for example, personally, the biggest satisfaction I get out of the product now is I think it's great that the crimes committed in Syria, for example, that there's a worldwide audience for this, right? It's not happening in secret. Um, it's not being hidden. But if something's happening, anyone can make a video and anyone can broadcast this to the whole world. I think that's really important.